After the release of Braum, League of Legends has 119 champions that you can play. So there's no surprise that there are some characters that are played constantly and others that don't see the sun too often. Yes, patches, buffs, nerfs, and pro players do influence which characters are played, but there are clearly the favorites and there are clearly the untouchables. This show means to highlight underused champions to figure out why they're out of favor and how to properly use them. Might as well start at the bottom of the barrel with Urgot. Urgot, the headsman's pride, is the least played champion in League. Why? Is it because he has more curves than a racetrack? I don't think that helps, but no. Urgot is a very unique kind of ADC and has a very distinct kit compared to other carries. This makes him difficult to use, hard to master, and requires a lot of micromanaging. His main damage dealing attack is his Q, Acid Hunter, which has a 2-second cooldown and can lock on targets that are affected by your E, Noxian Corrosive Charge. So you'll want to use your Q as much as you can instead of completely relying on your auto attacks. His W gives him a shield that also slows targets, and his ult is a 1-second stun, a position switch, and a slow. Clearly, he's one tough cookie. You're also going to have to build him differently from other ADCs. IE, BT, and Rune King are not viable on him. You will actually want to rush tier. Your main damage is your Q, and you will be spamming it a lot. So buy a tier and then immediately build it into a Manamune. You'll have it fully stacked in no time. Also, pick up a Brutalizer for some cheap damage and some nice armor pen. Instead of buying Zerker Greaves, buy the cooldown boots. Weird? Yes, but it works well with Urgot. Remember, Q is your moneymaker, so the more you can cast it, the more stacks you get. The more stacks you get on your Manamune, the more damage you do. The more damage you do, well, you get the picture. Frozen Heart gives you a good chunk of armor and more mana. Turn that Brutalizer into a Black Cleaver, snag a Maw of Malmortis and a Guardian Angel, and you're set. For runes, use Armor Pen Marks and Quints with Armor Seals and Magic Resist Glyphs. Masteries are pretty much the norm, but I recommend taking Sorcery over Fury in the offensive tree. As you can see, Urgot is a rock compared to the other ADCs. And since he's a very underplayed champ, you can use that to your advantage. Many players won't know how to counter Urgot, and they'll be quite surprised when they can't immediately kill you. Farm as fast as you can until level 3. Once you have your 3 abilities, start harassing. If you land your E on the enemy ADC, start spamming your Q. They're going to have to leave lane if they want to avoid taking some major damage. Just be careful with your pushing. Pre-6 Urgot doesn't really have an escape. Instead of trying to completely dominate your lane, just harass the enemy duo and deny them CS. Urgot is beefier than most ADCs, and you should use that weight to your advantage. A well-placed ult can give you and your team an advantage in a team fight. You will be in the face of the enemy team, but your shield plus Frozen Heart plus your Maw of Malmortis means you'll probably survive the fight, or at least live until your team destroys whoever you switched with. Urgot is a great initiator and is great for making some game-winning plays. He's not a bad champion and can be a real threat if you play him correctly. Just remember, Q is your best friend, positioning is everything, and even though you're quite tanky, you can still get melted pretty fast. Keep these tips in mind and maybe we'll see more of the Headsman's Pride. Plus, it would be nice to see some more Battlecast Urgots. Are there any champions you think that deserve some love? Let us know in the comments below. And for your one-stop place for all of your video game needs, be sure to head over to shacknews.com.